It's no secret that the best and funniest George Costanza quotes from Seinfeld rival even Jerry Seinfeld's own lines from the show. Jason Alexander was robbed of an Emmy win multiple times while spending 9 years playing Jerry's neurotic best friend George Costanza, a character known for his horrible bad luck and questionable life decisions. Fan adoration and massive critical acclaim continue to give credit where credit is due, however, as George is still largely regarded as one of the greatest sitcom characters of all time. Notably, George Costanza is based on Seinfeld co-creator and head writer, Larry David, one of the most foundational comedic voices of his generation. Cleverly, rather than becoming a caricature of Larry David, Jason Alexander instead gave George his own voice, creating a definitive curmudgeon character that predates even Larry David's semi-autobiographical protagonist in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Straight from the mouth of the self-proclaimed Lord of Idiots, here are the greatest, funniest, and most meme-able George Costanza quotes from Seinfeld. Squirrel? Well, we have no deal with them. Season 9, Episode 6, The Merv Griffin Show. George had been living by an unwritten code forged between New Yorkers and the pigeons that dwell within. Pigeons got out of the way of cars, and New Yorkers looked the other way on the statue defecations. However, George finds that the pigeons have seemingly gone back on their deal as, while driving with his girlfriend, he runs over a flock of them, making her see him as a heartless animal killer. In an attempt to show that he was more heroic than she thought, George took it upon himself to purposely swerve out of the way of a pigeon when they next rode together. Unfortunately, he failed to spot a nearby squirrel which he ran over instead. George's lack of remorse for that much cuter animal is hilarious as he reverts back to his strange idea that there exists some pact between animals and humans that the squirrel is no part of. 14. You should have seen the look on her face. It was the same look my father gave me when I told him I wanted to be a ventriloquist. Season 3, Episode 7, The Cafe. While Kramer's schemes in Seinfeld get all the attention, George has some terrific ones that usually end up blowing up in his face. Desperate to impress a very intellectual woman, George asked Elaine to take his IQ test for him so he could fake a good result. Unfortunately, a series of mishaps caused Elaine to mess the test up and cause his score to plummet to an unimaginable 85. George comes back to Jerry's place to confront Elaine with the shockingly low test results, which brings up a hilarious childhood memory. There is a lot to unpack in the joke, with the idea of George wanting to become a ventriloquist being almost as funny as imagining Frank Costanza's reaction to this idea. It is a reminder that George has always been on the losing side of life.